Several years ago, there weren't very many opportunities to joust in North America. There were just a couple of tournaments.
So I walked away and then I came back and saw them actually jousting and I was transfixed.
Sort of an old-style Western bar fight of, you know, one person takes a hit. Is that all you got? Well, let me show you what I've got.
It's the culture that gets built up around the jousting. Jousting cannot be done in a vacuum.
I'm Steve Hemphill, and I'm the executive producer of Lysts on the Lake 2011, 2012, and 2013.
I am a professional builder of swords and armor and other historical relics, and I got into jousting about 5 years ago and have been at it ever since.
I got started in jousting after doing a lot of other reenactment, and been doing it for about 3 years now. So
I got into this for horse stuff because I've been doing horse stuff since I was about 13. So found out that you could do medieval equestrian stuff, and that sounded really cool. So I've been doing this for about 7 years now.
I got into jousting through historical reenactment, and which I started back in 1980. And then I got my first horse as an adult in 2002. And me and a couple of friends got together and decided that it'd be a good idea to go out and break lances on each other on horseback. So I came to it from a historical research and medieval reenactment point of view. Since then, I've gotten a chance to compete around the world.
Interested in all aspects of historical knighthood, and you know, riding a horse and jousting is a big part of that.
I've been doing medieval reenactment for going on 30 years now, mostly foot combat, fighting primarily with the SCA, but also fight with a number of reenactment groups, some steel sword groups, some the rebated weapons. And in this case, it was just a natural extension of the reenactment to be able to go ahead and take it up on horseback. We're supposed to be recreating medieval knights, and that's what they did. So we had started with medieval games up on the horseback, which really was just training for the joust. And over the years, we've progressed to doing the jousting as well as the skill at arms of the mounted combat, as well as the actual targets, quintains, and so forth. So this was just kind of a natural progression from that.
The idea of barreling down a lane and like hitting this other person that is equally bearing down the lane with a wooden lance, it looks awesome. So it's really exciting. And then also people like Sarah Hayes and Tiffany, the other Tiffany, just really inspire me as a female jouster that, you know, they're out there, you know, doing the same thing and hitting just as hard and being hit just as hard. So I want to be one of them.
I saw jousting in 2007 and it initially did not appeal to me because there wasn't actually any jousting happening. There were just riders walking around on the field. So I walked away and then I came back and saw them actually jousting and I was transfixed. So from that moment I was passionate that this was my highway that I wanted to travel on. So I immediately inquired about learning. I already had horses I could already ride, but I had no weaponry skills, and so I needed some help there to develop my skills. And a friend of mine said it's as if everything that I've ever done has led me to jousting, and so I think it's inevitable that I would be here jousting in this lifetime. It's wonderful to feel in sync. That I said to someone earlier today, there's no time when I feel more me than when I'm in armour and on a horse. It's a wonderful feeling.
My biggest attraction to jousting has basically been, I guess, my heroes, my reading, the stories of King Arthur, and you know, that's what they did. They jousted, and that was a big part of my interest in jousting. Was since I pursued knighthood for 30 years. When I finally had an opportunity to joust, that was a big step.
Several years ago, there weren't very many opportunities to joust in North America. There were just a couple of tournaments, and I produce events for a living, and so I decided, well, I'm going to produce an event and have everybody come to me. So that's kind of what started Lysts on the Lake, and that's kind of what's motivated me going forward, is just getting together and having a bunch of friends share a good time breaking lances.
With Lysts on the Lake, the one thing that we've achieved with this tournament, more than any other, is we have managed to bring together a cross-section of jousters in from the entire jousting community. For better or worse, there tends to be divisions within the jousting groups where there's theatrical jousting, there's reenactment jousting, there's recreational type jousting, commercial jousting as far as the fairs and so forth. With Lysts on the Lake, what we've done is by having an open invitation format, we simply set a standard for equipment and training, but we really don't go beyond that as far as encouraging or discouraging one group or another of jousters. Instead, we simply say, come on over, you'll have a great time. And with Lysts on the Lake in particular, it's, as far as I know, the only jousting tournament worldwide where you have such a cross-section of the jousting community.
A lot of it's just the people. I know a lot of the Steve and Don, Dave, and a lot of the other guys that helped to organize it. When I've met through other reenactments, and I've known them for many, many years. So to have the opportunity to come down into an environment that you know, I'd heard a lot of buzz about for a lot of years, and the kind of vibe that they had going with the event was just really appealing, and I came last year and was just super stoked about it. Couldn't wait for to come back. So
yeah, Texans are a lot like Australians, I think. So we connect. I have a lot of fun. I feel very comfortable here, and I'm mainly here to support Steve. I know it's going to be a great event. I know there's going to be great people. I know there's going to be some really top jousters here. So I'm assured of quality. If I'm travelled across the world to be here just for this event. So I know that I'm assured of an event worth crossing the world for. It's been great fun so far. Yeah.
I always enjoy my dances with Steve Hemphill. We've done a lot to kind of develop the jousting within Texas and internationally. I think I'm getting a little more of an opportunity to get to know Sarah Hay, who is our international joust robber from Australia, and had some nice passes already. I'm looking forward to more. So
I intend to wallop Dave Wise most thoroughly. I am riding his horse, so I'll do it in the nicest possible way, but I do look forward to it.
I'm looking forward to breaking some more lances on Steve. Actually, I'm looking forward to breaking some on Jeffrey. We had some really good passes up in St. Charles, but I think of everybody here, I want to break some on Sarah Hay. I'm sure that I won't be the first person to answer that question like that. She came a long way. I want to give her my best shot.
I would say that probably my favorite competitor that I've broken lances with this week is everybody. I've had the pleasure of jousting with everybody here someplace else in the United States or in the world for the past several years. So it's just another opportunity to come out here and have fun with my friends. The level of competition is really, really admirable. We've got some good folks from around nearby, local, as well as all the way to Australia with Sarah Hay, and I enjoy breaking lances with all of them. It's a lot of fun.
The beauty of the sport is it is the only sporting activity where there is no defense. In this case, it is as much a part of the competition that you present a clean target, a fancy way of saying you get ready to take a hit, as part of the expectation. So in this case, it's a unique activity in that you're wanting to blast your opponent with a solid hit. At the same time, you are expected to give them an equal good opportunity to do their best. And so you could almost look at it like a sort of old style Western bar fight of, one person takes a hit. Is that all you got? Well, let me show you what I've got. And it's something that's a bit of a unique character about the activity, that we're going to do our level best to just literally impale someone on a stick. And then when you get done, it's smiles and congratulate them when they've done a good job at it.
I think my martial arts have lent itself the best to jousting. I've got years and years of handling spears on foot, and so the actual handling of the lance on horseback is really pretty familiar to me.
The hand-eye coordination and particularly point control with spears and stuff that I've done for a long time really translates well into this, so it helps me, helps to make up for some of my other shortcomings, I think.
a lot of weight training because your armor is heavy, the lances are heavy, and when you're doing it for, I don't know how long we were out there, an hour and a half or so, it just drags on you. So you have to make sure that you have the upper body strength to make it through a jousting tournament.
When you are jousting, you don't have the luxury to be distracted. So everything you're doing is focused. Your entire world shrinks down to about the size of a quarter. You put that quarter on your opponent's the crotch, and that's the only thing that you're concerned about as you're getting the timing of the horse and the rhythm and bringing that down and making sure you clear the horse's head, and you're bringing that down to a fraction of a second. And while you're doing that, a little voice is going off in your head saying, you're about to get creamed. At which point you say, shut up, I've got work to do.
The interesting thing about jousting to me has not been that 3 seconds of intense bang, but it's the culture that gets built up around the jousting. Jousting cannot be done in a vacuum. You can't do it by yourself. You can't even do it just with one other person. You need a group of people that are all dedicated to making sure the joust happens.
But there's something very unique and something that a lot of people want to participate in here with Lysts on the Lake. And you know, we're glad that people look at us like that, because you know, the more the merrier. We love to have more people coming out, sharing in the fun with us, and we want to keep doing that.